You are now tuned in to the #1 nursing podcast in the world, the Scrub Me In podcast by Nurse Junior and Anthony.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man?
We back.
Hey.
I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this style from me. And if I ever see them, man, they probably bow to me. And when this beat drop, I go,
That's funny as hell.
You are now tuned in to the #1 nursing podcast in the world.
Hey, we back.
We back, baby. The Scrub Me In podcast, season 2, episode 1.
Let's go.
And we got a special guest
Very special.
on this episode. Introduce yourself.
Hello. My name is Angela.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast, Angela.
Thank you.
First guest, we're honored. Thank you for being on the episode.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
So, we'll get straight into it. Tell us what you do.
Okay. I'm a nurse.
Okay.
Graduated. I know, shocking
I know.
information. Graduated in 2016. So that puts us at what?
6 years.
No, longer. I think like
I don't think you can do math very well.
8 years. I was confident. I was confident.
You know what? Hold up.
Yo.
This may help us. We're supposed to take
Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm a little off.
I'm not going to do it to the shot.
Thank you for being our first guest. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Cheers.
Shout out to the scrubbers out there, baby.
Yes, the scrubbers.
Cheers.
Maybe
Cheers
this will
to
help
season 2.
This will help Ant with his math.
It was 8.
Ooh.
Damn.
As soon as I got the shot of me, it was 8.
That tequila.
Straight from Mexico.
Wow.
Arriba. All right. Sorry. We'll get
We're
back.
back. We are back again.
So you've been a nurse you've been in the game for about 8 years, you said.
Yes.
Can confirm.
Yes.
Right.
That's crazy.
What led you to
Wise.
get into the profession?
So it wasn't planned. I dropped out of, I think I was supposed to do like sociology or something that, I don't know. I don't know what to do, what I would have done with that. But I decided to drop out, and that scared everybody. And
Who's everybody?
my Asian family.
Wait, you're Asian?
Also shocking information.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to become a neurosurgeon. That was a problem.
Damn.
So
Disappointing.
Yeah. Papa Lee was not a fan. So I had to do something. And I dropped out like March of the school year. And like you're supposed to have everything paid and everything by like April. So it was very last minute. And I literally went on like the Ontario like university website, whatever. And I just clicked the drop down. There was 3 schools. I went any, mini, miny, mo. It was like Nisipings, like
That's what I did.
like
Did you
I don't
really?
know, and then like Windsor. And I'm from Toronto, so us Torontonians, like anything outside of Toronto, it's like that you've never heard of. You're like, oh, must be north. So I'm like, Windsor must be north.
Yeah.
Southernmost point of Ontario, Canada, actually. So great, yeah. So I picked Windsor, and then another drop down, and it's like you pick your programs, and it was like social work. I think there was one that was like just chemistry, and then again I went, okay, these are 4 things that I could possibly do, and I went any, many, miny, mo. Landed on nursing, and here I am.
Damn.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. I thought when we first met, that was your first program, nursing.
I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, it was God's plan.
Just-
That's what it was.
I just knew that I was a disappointment.
Not at all. No. Definitely not.
Oh,
But-
just to your father.
Yeah. Literally. But yeah, it was quite the shock, because I feel like because I didn't really know what nursing was, and I felt like a lot of other people that were in the profession, they had family members or friends or somebody that would be like, oh, this is what you're going to experience. I literally had no idea. Like, I was like, what is a nurse?
Yeah.
Like, nothing. So I feel like first year, and then like also first year clinical when you're like in the nursing homes, like that was like shocking information for me.
Yeah.
I know, like I was like in tears. Like I was like, wow, people really need help in the world. And for some reason, my like bubble in Toronto or something, like how I was raised, I just didn't realize this. That there was so many people that were sick and needed help.
No, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Honestly, thanks for sharing. For real. So you said 8 years in the game. You told us why, or how you got into nursing. Let us know about how.
Well, you know what I want to know? I want to know what your university was like, your experience here.
So
I know you had some ups and downs. So what was it like being in Windsor being from Toronto?
I just knew I didn't want to be in Toronto. I just knew that I was like sick of the city kind of atmosphere and attitude where, you know, things were all about money. I wanted to get away and have a little freedom from my family, to be honest, and just kind of be my own person. I think I was always really like I was happy to do my own thing, and I wanted to kind of test myself. So I was like, I don't want to be anywhere close to Toronto. I don't want to commute like all my other friends are. So that's why I was only looking at schools that are away from Toronto. And so I went straight into res, and that's where I met Junior.
Junebug.
Actually, I wasn't in the same
Fly
res as
kid.
her. If you remember in episode 1, I had failed. I failed 2 courses.
Yeah, but she was in which res were you in?
It was Alumni Hall, which
Alumni,
was
we
like
talked
the
about
most
alumni.
beautiful, the most beautiful residence.
It was the rich one, the bougie one, the bougie
Okay, but
res.
it was subsidized because that was the nursing floor. So I
Yes.
pay the same amount as like everybody else in like Mac Hall, like all the
Where the
crappy
hell
ones.
was I?
That's
because
crazy,
I didn't
nigga.
know.
I don't know what happened to you.
So how
They said Rexdale? Oh, we'll put him in there.
we'll put him in the ghetto res.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
survive.
So how I met Andrew is I failed. Remember in my first year, bounced back, came back. I said I got to repeat. So I came back first day nursing school, and I said, you know what? Let me go to Alumni Hall and make friends.
Yeah.
Let me share some textbooks. I need some textbooks. I ain't paying shit because I knew they had that sim lab. Remember?
Yes.
So I knew they had the newest textbooks in there, the sim lab, stethoscope, everything you can think of.
Yeah.
So the first person I met was Angela. Her room was open, I believe, and I knocked. I was like, "Hey, my name is Junior." Da, da, da.
Yeah, I remember like it was literally like first week of school, and it was like what was it called? Like
Frosh Week.
Frost
oh
Week.
gosh.
Shout out Frost Week.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh baby us. And it was like whoever was like the leader of our like hall, and she's like, "Oh, meet this guy, his name's Junior. He's friendly," and then gone. And I was like, "Oh, hi, stranger." Like
Yup.
turned out all right.
8 years later, you're still friends. 8.
No, I
not
graduated
6.
in 16. We went to school in 2012, so I met him in 2012. Can you do the math? How many
12
is
years
that?
later,
Yeah, 12 years later, guys.
still friends.
He's doing better.
Yes. But no, for real, Angela, she helped me out a lot throughout my 4 years. Well, 4 years. 'Cause I failed.
I'm not the only one that can't do math.
Yeah, I need another shot.
Yeah.
But no, she helped me out a lot, so I appreciate you for that. Honestly, I'll never forget
Help each
that.
other.
Yeah.
Had to keep each other awake a lot.
Who you telling?
Junior has this
Oh my
magical
gosh.
ability to just like sleep like this.
In
Beautiful, bro.
class, in clinical,
I hear you.
in front of my
Everywhere.
patient,
It's
like straight up.
amazing. It's amazing.
So tell us about Windsor. Like, how was that transition from you moving from Vaughan to Windsor and high school into nursing school?
I loved it. I feel like I just ate up the whole like res experience, you know, and then I had friends and we got a house, and then there was our whole residence kind of, we had other houses where we like visit each other. So it's kind of like the only time in life where your like best friends were like your roommates or your neighbors. And it was just, I think it was just such a fun time. I feel like I remember just not sleeping a lot because I just would not give up my social life. Like I wanted to do everything in nursing school. I was like so involved on like nursing society. And like I would do so many leadership things, even like in residence and all this stuff. And I also still wanted to go to all the keggers and stay in touch with all like the residence people. So I feel like I just had like the time of my life. Like my 4th year, I was like the ones that were hosting the frosh parties. I don't know how I survived 4th year. I shout out to my friends that dragged my half sober, very drunk butt through into class to like actually make it. It was a time.
It was. Oh, I'm flashbacking it, and I remember. Yeah, it was crazy.
I was everywhere.
Okay, so fast forward. Then you graduate. Where's your first job from there, and what was your experience like?
So I just know, like, again, because I had no idea what nursing was. So I feel like every experience and everything that I learned in nursing school, I really just took it as like, okay, like, I'm not going to go in the preset that, like, I know I want to do X, Y, Z. I was just like, okay, let me see what makes my heart happy. Like, I know that's so, like, but I was just like, what do I feel happiest doing? Because at the end of the day, like, what job you do, you're spending 40 years of your life doing. That's like majority of your life is your job. So I'm not trying to do something that I hate doing. So I just wanted to follow my heart, and I was really, really happy with peds. And I think in hindsight, it was just something about wanting to like relive and have a happier childhood of my own that I loved the magic of pediatrics.
Yeah.
And like, it really is magic. Like, kids don't know how to give up. They don't necessarily understand that they're sick or there's some sort of thing that they have to overcome. They just want to play. They just want to be happy. And I love that aspect. And then just seeing, like, in a nursing aspect as well, like, kids, they get sick really fast, but they also get better really fast. So it's one of the more, like, rare parts of nursing where you get to do an intervention and you actually see an improvement. I feel like with, like, older populations, you do an intervention, you don't always see the improvement, like,
Sure.
at the end of your shift.
Yeah.
But in peds, like, the turnaround is that fast. Like, you do see things change and happen, and it's really cool. And I just always loved the magic of peds. And so I wanted the most experience, like just the hardest levels. So I went to Children's Hospital in Detroit, and I joined their float pool, which is, like, if I was to say in hindsight, probably not the greatest idea because it was a really, really tough job.
Okay.
I certainly was tested every day. Like, you start off the jump and you're trained to 5 units, and you're meant to work all those 5 units as a new grad.
Yeah.
And in a special field. I got 3 months of training, so I think it was like 3 weeks on each unit or something like that.
my
That's pretty good, though. That's pretty
I feel
So
like that's not enough, honestly.
Really? I guess it's a new
For
grad.
5 units?
Yeah, for
yeah,
3 months
and they're
for 5
like
units ain't bad,
they're
bro.
really specialized. Like, you're talking like DKAs, you're talking pediatric cancer, you're talking like these are specialized. Neurology, like pediatric neurology, how often do you see that at a regular
The
hospital?
reason why I'm saying that's too fast is because, okay, you can be on oncology, peds oncology, right? They orientate you for the 3 weeks. You go into the supply room. All right, this is where everything's at. All right, now you're going on to another unit. Oh, now I got to memorize where everything's at.
I mean, I think there's got to be some continuity on some level that most units have things in the same spots.
True. And then were the codes the same? Like, if you're one's going to... So 5 different units, 5 different codes.
And this
Yo, okay, but here's my thing.
a lot of numbers.
I'm from Windsor Regional. Shout out Windsor Regional. I've worked on I've been an employee on 2 units there, but I've been floated to multiple units. I've had maybe a week's worth of training. So 3 months is great.
Okay, compared to that.
3 months is great.
I think the training was good. I just think it was a lot to chew when you're a new grad.
For sure.
And it was not only was it a lot to like take in, like to learn, and you're learning medications, pediatric dosing, like things in peds are so specific. But I think what really did it in was that you had different preceptors. Because you're the float nurse, you're not one of their own. You didn't get buddied up with somebody. You just got whoever was available. Right. And then each unit has different styles of how they like to chart, how they like to report. So you're learning from a different person every day and then a different unit every month. Like it was so trippy to be like, okay, who am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? Because every unit does something different and every nurse does something different. I don't know who I am yet as a nurse. I just became a nurse, you know? So I think that was the tricky thing, that in hindsight, I don't think I would have done that again. I think I would have started on a regular peds unit and then kind of worked my way up into float or into a different unit. After a year, I then was trained to intensive float, which was emergency ICU and neonatal ICU. So then it was like you kind of just start to catch your breath and then wham, like a whole nother world. And again, another 3 months of training. And everyone knows emerge and ICU is like polar opposites. So and it was tough to kind of remember all the things I learned before and then tack on all these really intense specialized units and then these intense specialized nurses. I honestly was probably one of the very, very few people that loved ED and ICU equally because I feel like the personalities are so different there.
Coming out of nursing school, did you know that you wanted to become a peds nurse, or was this second year, third year nursing school that you knew?
I just took all of my not preceptors, like all of my clinical experiences really seriously. And I tried the most. I did the most at every single experience I was given. And in second year, like I just really loved being in peds. So I tried to get a preceptorship on peds, which I was successful in doing. And that's what kind of solidified, okay, this is what I really want to do and learn more of.
Got you.
I loved the world of pediatrics.
I know in fourth year for us, you know, you basically select a specialty that you know that you want to get more experience in before you get into the real world. So in fourth year nursing school, did you select peds again, pediatrics?
Yeah, as my preceptorship.
For your last year?
Yeah.
Okay, and right then and there you knew, all right, this is the specialty that I want to be in.
Yeah, because and everybody had a lot of people advised me not to.
Really? Why was that?
Because it was about the jobs. Like how many jobs are available in peds versus general, you know. Right. So if you don't have general med surg experience, the assumption was that you're knocking off all the possibility of all these jobs.
Makes sense.
Because you're specializing yourself. But I'm just like an all or nothing person. So I'm like, I know I wanted to do this. I don't want to do nothing else. If I'm not going to do this type of nursing, I'm not going to do nursing.
So then when it came time and you graduated, did you find any difficulties in finding a job? Because Junior was talking about when he graduated, he had some difficulties finding jobs. So if you're specializing yourself, how was that?
Yeah, no, it was. Because the thing that drives me crazy in a lot of Canadian hospitals is for some reason they want you to have adult med surg experience in order to work pediatrics because they consider pediatrics like a higher acuity level. But it's such a different world, completely different meds. Like you might be a great med surg nurse. It has nothing to do with whether or not you can be a great peds nurse. You can't float med surg nurses to peds and think that they're going to do great. So I never understood that concept. And so I think that when I kept being shut down and would see, the application requires 2 years of experience, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And that's when I started looking at the States where things did make sense. I was offered a residency program and just specific training in the specific field. Why would I waste my time on adult? I've never worked adult med surg in my life. You could put me there right now. I would not know what to do.
So I want to get specific. So when you wrote the NCLEX, passed, did you not even before that actually, when you graduated, did you know that you wanted to stay in Windsor? Did you want to go back to Vaughan? Or did you know that you wanted to go to Detroit?
I would go wherever the wind took me.
Okay. So you didn't care. Because with me, I wanted to go back to Toronto. But the problem was I couldn't find a job at all, like you were saying.
Yeah.
I applied to every single hospital, even in Markham Stouffville. They weren't even trying to hire me. Then I started applying to nursing homes. They weren't trying to hire me.
Wow.
So my mom's like, you're American. Why don't you just go back to Windsor, cross over to Detroit and apply, which I did, and I got a job the same day that I applied.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if you had that thought process of going back home to Vaughan, or you said, you know what, let me just thug it out and stay in Windsor and maybe try my chances?
I think, like, honestly, I just never really have a sense of what is home. Like, I moved around so much as a kid and then, like, left Toronto when I was 18. Like, I just never really had a place that I was like, I have to be here.
Right.
So I was like, wherever the wind took me. And I feel like throughout my career, that was just always the same, like, wherever opportunity calls, we'll go. Like,
Yeah.
you know, why turn down opportunities in life for home? I think home is where you are and what you make it. So.
Okay.
That's beautiful, man.
So tell,
So
Get
nice.
you in your feels.
Yeah, a little bit.
so I got one more question. What was the toughest thing for you nursing school wise? For the listeners out there, the students that are, or the individuals that are thinking of getting into nursing and are afraid, tell us one thing that, you know, that you had a struggle with within the program, the 4 years.
I mean, it's tough. It's a tough program. It's probably the hardest bachelor's degree available out there. I mean, probably next to engineering, to be honest. But just the level of professionalism that they expect. And
Hold on, you mean Junior can't wear his Jordans and his purple scrubs? What do you mean?
I mean, and I don't even know if it's like that anymore. If like they like
The game's changed. I changed the game for y'all out there. Straight up. I'm the reason why y'all can wear Jordans. I'm the reason why y'all can wear hoop earrings. I'm the pioneer.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, like I remember, like they would take things so seriously. Like I don't know if you remember, Junior, when in was it first or second year that we're doing like OSCEs? Remember OSCEs? Oh my gosh, where you'd be like, I'm the nurse, and here I am washing my hands.
It would take me like 10 minutes just to get someone's blood pressure. That's how crazy it was.
So like sweat dripping down your forehead.
And you got a camera that's behind a false mirror that's recording you, and
the professor's behind there.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Silhouette of her.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, and so I made the mistake of having my phone in my pocket during an OSCE. It's just something that, like, you know, you don't think about because your phone's like always in your pocket. And when I was finished one of my OSCEs, I checked my phone for the time, even though I'm wearing a watch. I don't know. And that was the exact moment that the professor opened the door to tell me that I was done and to move on to the next quarter or whatever. And when she opened the door, I'm looking at my phone for the time, and she's just like, "What are you doing? You're cheating." And I was like, "Huh?" Like, totally caught off guard. And it was turned into this big thing. Like, she demanded to look at my phone, looked through my messages, read my messages with my friends.
Was she allowed to do that, though? Could she have said, "Give me your phone"? And because I would have been like, "Nah, you ain't taking nothing."
But when you're, like, freshly 18, like, you don't know nothing about nothing, or at least, I don't know, maybe that was our generation. People maybe know a bit more now, but
yeah, you're scared at
you're
that
like
moment.
shaking,
yeah.
and I was like,
This is
oh,
your
okay,
career.
like, I don't have anything to hide because I wasn't cheating. I busted my butt in that sim lab, like, learning this stuff. I wasn't cheating. But the whole concept was that I had my phone. Then she goes to my messages, and she saw a message between me and another friend that said that she had shared what she had and said, oh, it was tough. And it was like, oh, I got this body system. It was tough. And she was like, that right there is cheating.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and she's like, if you want to be a nurse, you can't cheat. And I was like, and that was a detrimental moment to me where I was like, that's it. I'm done here. This is the end. I don't know what I'm going to do. I barely even knew that I was going to do this. Now I want to do this. And they're saying I can't do this because I cheated? Question mark? Like,
yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
So that dragged on for a bit. And I came to find out that, like, they just have, like, outrageous standards that no other faculty had. So I think that was, like, the tough thing. And I get it. Like, it is so important to set the standards high, like, when you're in school, so that your nurses come out with this level and with this expectation of professionalism. I don't know where that's gone now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Junior really changed the game.
I did.
Because, anyways, so I think that was a really tough pill to swallow. On top of just like managing everything, and then like when you're going through the clinicals, they tell you that you can't have a job. They literally tell you have to quit your job. Do you remember that? And I worked 2 jobs in school, man. Like,
I do vaguely remember that.
I would bartend till 4 a.m., get my ass up for 8 a.m., go to class, and then work a shift at the disabilities home from like 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m., study for a couple hours, go back to the bar. Like, I was around the clock. And they're like, oh, you can't work. How am I supposed to stay here and pay the tuition?
Facts. Facts.
It was crazy. Do you remember?
I do remember that. They did say that, having a job or two can, factor into potentially being successful in the program. I personally didn't work.
See, but I also understand that rule, though. Like, you have to think as a student, imagine you're working a full-time job, you're in school full-time. I mean, already now, anxiety, depression is such a big thing. Now, when you're asking students to be in school full time, so let's say 40 hours a week, you're at work 40 hours a week. That's very stressful.
It is.
And then
clinical.
God forbid you fail. You could just be like, yo, I had to work. I had to this. But then they can come back and be like, well, our policy is you're not supposed to be working.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be focusing on school.
There's also people that were like mature students. Like, there was a guy that had kids, and he was like 40. Like, this was his second career.
Yeah.
And there are other people like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like they had no leniency.
No, I think it's totally unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic because, I mean, I worked through it too, but I can understand why the policy's in place if I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For me, like, I did have 2 jobs as well too, but in the summertime, hell, I have 3.
Yeah.
I have 3 jobs. But during the school year, it was tough for me to have a job and manage clinical and manage classes, the journals, the CPEs, all that bullshit that they give us. Honestly.
Oh my, can I tell you?
Anyways, I don't want to get into it.
One time I was so tired and sleepy because I managed the 2 jobs plus like executive societies and all these
nursing
like
society,
social things. And school. And so I was always like half asleep doing those dang journals and CPEs. And the one time, and like, God bless my instructor, she like actually just wrote a question mark and said, haha. But I wrote on like one of the safety CPEs about transferring your patient or whatever. I literally wrote, I was half asleep, that I ejected my patient from the Snickers board. And proceeded safely.
Yeah, you need to sleep.
she was like, oh, okay. You're just going to fix this. Like, she didn't dock me marks, but she's like, I could tell you needed help.
You needed sleep. That's what you needed.
It's tough times.
But no, I do remember those days. Honestly, it was a headache. And like I mentioned on one episode, you probably haven't watched it because it hasn't come out yet, but I copied people's journals, honestly. Because my roommates, they're in a year ahead of me, so.
Well, now there's AI, so.
Whole different ball game.
See, but you know what pissed me off about those journals? They made it seem like we'll catch you if you're plagiarizing.
There's no way they can catch you.
That's crazy.
I thought there was a database where they could just take.
That's what I thought.
But you know what's funny now? Because now
probably.
That we're like almost 10 years out the game, like now us and our colleagues.
8 years,
yeah.
I said almost. Okay. Anyways. Us and our colleagues are now the instructors. And do you think any of us and our colleagues, like our friends, are there being like, 78% plagiarism? Nah,
Definitely
we just
not.
trying to make it through too.
Facts. Like, it's true. Because I'm not gonna say his name, but I do have a homeboy that's a clinical instructor, and he tells me he does not read over it. No, nothing of that sort. Now that first journal, he'll read it and he'll gauge and see, all right, this person's an A student, that person's a B student, that person's a C, B, in between. Then moving forward, oh, this person are A, this person are A, like kind of gauge it that way. But yeah, we don't read it. No. So you future students that are coming into the game, relax, chill. It's not that hard.
Jordans.
Wear your Jordans. Yeah.
If you got pink scrubs, put those on too. You'll be all right.
They were purple.
Magenta. Oh my gosh.
But let's transition over now to what you're doing currently.
Yeah.
We mentioned it on one episode how what's the name of your business?
Rajeunir.
Rajeunir.
Like
It's French.
Rejuvenate, baby.
Rejuvenate.
Okay.
Tell us about that and what motivated you to start that.
So, like I said, I am someone that follows opportunity and I follow my heart, something that I like to do. I put my all into it. So I feel like I went down a few different routes in my career. So I did, the float and I did the intensive training. I did also help out at some other specialty clinics. So I did a bit of clinic work to see what kind of like nurses do in that aspect. So that's working with like insurance pre-authorizations, things like that. So it's like totally different ball game. It's a bunch of ICD-10 codes. There's a million codes. And learned about that. And then when we moved to Australia and COVID happened, actually I wanted to take a whole sabbatical from nursing. I didn't want to be a nurse at all. It was Anthony that forced me to get my nursing license in Australia. And COVID happened, and we're like, maybe we should be nurses now. Like,
Yeah.
and then I ended up managing a clinic in Australia, and working for the CDC and advising on all COVID testing. So that was actually public health and management. And when we came home, I did management in a nursing home, where I was manager of resident care. So I was the manager for all kind of nursing services. So your RNs, your RPNs, PSWs, and students that were there too. So I do want to say that I dabbled and I really tried to enjoy various aspects of nursing. And I did enjoy them. I think that there came a point where I just didn't ethically believe in some things, and that's what I'm about. Like, if my heart isn't in it and I feel like something is tainted, or it's just not right for me, I'll leave. That's like, I don't stay miserable. I'm not going to put myself in a miserable position. So, it was something that like Anthony had always talked to me about. His dad, had always talked to me about doing, and I've always loved art. I'm a really bad athlete, so
Really bad.
I have like three left
Really
feet.
bad.
3 left feet.
Yeah, the effort
Really
was there.
bad.
I try. I have no rhythm. I don't get it. My feet aren't coordinated. I can't dance either. Anyways, so art, like drawing, had always been my things. That's why like I'm so good at tiny IVs. Like I'm really great at NICU IVs because I can freehand. Like I can make a perfectly straight line. Like my hand is just always really still and
That's a skill.
really
Skill.
precise.
It is. Ask her to make a layup, though.
Okay. It's 1, 2, shoop.
I don't know.
But the shroop doesn't happen.
The
Anyways.
soup doesn't shoot.
So I started looking into the world of aesthetics. And for a long time, I won't lie, I was like, that's not real nursing. Like, you're not in the trenches if you're an aesthetic nurse. Like, what is that, And they don't teach you anything about it in school.
True.
There's no unit on it at school, even though it's like a really popular field now. And so I started looking into it and I was like, wow, actually this stuff is really intriguing. There's a lot of things that you really have to understand the science of. So there's still a lot for me to have learned in this field.
Yep.
And then you apply it in various ways. And anybody can do an injection, but not everyone is artistic. And that's where I was like, hey, this is finally an opportunity in life for me to do something artistic and hone that skill of mine and combine it with nursing and combine it with the business management things that I learned while being a manager for these organizations. And unfortunately, it came to a point that I just didn't want to support certain ways that businesses were run. So I was like, well, the solution is to do it myself then. Do my own business and do something that I'm proud of. And, and then that also is like any overtime that I'm doing, it directly benefits my business. It's just something that I'm growing myself for myself. The brand is me, and that's just, there's something like so amazing in that. And I found a lot of, just growth in that. And, I think I've just been loving the process. It's been a lot.
So what inspired the name?
Okay. So Rejuvenate, I wanted it to be about rejuvenation because I don't necessarily focus on just beauty and just, like wrinkles or hair growth or whatever. It's not just about the surface level things. Right. I really want people to feel rejuvenated. I want you to feel like the best version of yourself. I feel like since becoming a mom as well, like oftentimes when you ask moms, like, hey, how are you feeling? They're like, oh, I'm tired. I want you to feel rejuvenated. And I might not be able to just give you 12 hours of sleep, but if I can give you a feeling, okay, like if you can look in the mirror and just be excited about how you feel and feel rejuvenated in that, that's what I wanted people to experience from my business. And I made it French in honor of Anthony and his dad.
What it is.
Okay, I didn't even know that part.
They
that makes
speak
sense.
French, and I speak French very poorly.
Very poorly.
And petit peu.
There you go. That was pretty good.
So the business has been operating for about how many months now?
Oh gosh, we have to do math again. March. It's been official since March.
Whatever, the 7th month. So 4 months.
But I did my courses and stuff before then. Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit, because for individuals that want to get into that expertise or in that field of nursing, what did you have to do? Because you did tell me about this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the thing, is like, even though it's this booming sector, there's no it's not a part of regular nursing school, even though it's skills that you learn in regular nursing school. So you do have to pay for additional certifications. Not that it's completely necessary. I've never had a client say, let me see your graduation paperwork for this certificate type of thing. And there are university colleges that run them. I think George Brown does it as well. They have some sort of program for it. But yeah, to be honest with you, a lot of them are kind of money grabs because they're very surface level. It's $3,000 to $4,000 before taxes for this weekend course. You go over anatomy, which you already know, but obviously it hones in on the anatomy that's important for you to know. And then you learn the basic injection techniques in basic areas. So majority of your injectors do this basic course. And a lot of the instructors in these courses then promote their own mentorships, which you're talking one-on-one mentorship with this expert in the field, which I don't deny that they're experts. They probably have had a lot of success. But it's $4,000 for 4 days with them, where you're only spending actually 4 hours with them as well. So you come to find out that in this business, to make money, you've got to pour out a lot of money too. And I think that's where they weed out who's going to make it or not. You've got to be really willing to put money down. And when I mean money, I mean $20K off the jump.
Wow.
To really,
it's like that.
To really have firm ground to succeed. Otherwise, they easily take your $4 or $5,000 and know that they're not going to give you enough information to actually make it.
Right.
But they're going to take your $4 or $5,000, and they're going to take 30 other people's $4 or $5,000. And of that 30 people, probably only 1 or 2 will actually do this field. And I felt that in the class, I could tell that the instructors were already kind of narrowing down who's actually going to do something in this field.
Yeah.
And they would speak to the ones that they thought would actually go forward and offer the mentorships.
So in your class, how many students were in there? Are we talking like 5?
No.
Less or more?
No, I think there was like 17.
17.
There's a lot of us.
Okay, so picture this, right? 17 students that are trying to learn the same thing. Now, when it comes down to a 3-4 day course, like you had mentioned,
2
days.
Weekend. It's a weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh my
8
gosh.
hours each.
8 hours each.
Yeah.
So now when it comes down to practicing on not even a mannequin, a real person, right? Mm-hmm. How does that work? Do they get like 3? Because you guys are new. You guys are fresh. If it's me and the mentor says to me, "Hey, Junior, you want to be a test dummy for this weekend? I have 17 new women who want to get in the game on aesthetics."
Hey, there was a lot of men there too.
Really?
Just saying.
Okay, so she asked me to come in. I have 17 new students who want to poke your face. I'm gonna be hesitant. I'm not gonna cap. So how was that experience for you?
Yeah. So what they do, so you're talking, these are like big aesthetic schools, because I don't know like what makes them a school,
yeah.
but it's like CBAM, CAMA, like they're also businesses, like they're also aesthetic clinics.
Okay.
So, and they have like medical doctors, like they have doctors and stuff within them. So they're teaching these courses, and then they're also offering these like crazy deals. So it's like $4 a unit for Botox, which in Toronto, the average price is $10 to $12 a unit. So you're getting an extremely good deal for Botox. And then the fillers, I think, was like $200 or $250 or something, which again, in Toronto, you're looking at $600 to $800 for one syringe of filler. So obviously it's like a really great deal. And you tell them like what areas you want injected, so you could do like a less risky area, or like maybe you don't do lips or something. But the expert injectors are there, like it's hand over hand. Mm-hmm. So there's not like room for error. Like they have all the emergency kind of things there. If there's something that went wrong, they would fix it right away. Like I think like it's okay to be a client for these teaching scenarios. Like I don't think there's anything like dangerous in it. It's not just somebody who has no idea what they're doing, just throwing you like, boom, I'm going to do this. Like it's literally hand over hand. Like throughout my mentorship experiences, we're on top of each other, like breathing on each other. Like, so, and that's how you learn best, is hand over hand.
Okay.
So knowing what you know now then about a lot of these schools or mentorship programs, do you think you would do it the same?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think it's the only way.
Okay.
It's just an unfortunate thing where you just have to be like prepared to drop money.
So, but do you think, even though you may not have necessarily learned a ton, do you feel like taking that program gave you some confidence going on your own to your own business?
I think there definitely is, like, you have to be smart about it. I think that right away I was like, this is a money grab. So let me take every cent out of this that I can. So I feel like I made a point to make sure I was on every single injection. Like I injected like 20 people that weekend. Like I was not hesitant. I was kind of the first to speak, the first to, and I pre-researched things. So I knew what kind of questions I want to drill the experts with. And I really took my anatomy really seriously, so that when I was there with the experts, I could say, okay, on this layer, you know, what is the effect on the SOOF? Because a regular nursing professor wouldn't even know that. It has to be an expert in the aesthetic field that would know these kind of answers and questions. So I really took advantage of every single minute that I had in these classes. I do not think 95% of other students did that.
Wow. So you feel like a lot of individuals wasted their money. So like they were in class, but they just didn't have that push factor to say, you know what, let me stick as money, not stick, but you know, get as much experience as I can get with every single individual that's here right now?
I think that the way things are advertised, it almost makes it seem like you do this course and you're going to, boom, have a successful business. I think there's just too much realism to me where I'm like, no one's going to hand me money. No one's going to hand me success.
They advertise it well then, because, I mean, there's some people who feel that way.
And so that's why I was like, I don't trust that just doing this at a very surface level is going to get me anywhere. So how can I do more? How can I get more? How can I get advanced learning, advanced training? So even though I was doing the beginner course, the questions I was asking was advanced level. A couple injections that I did was advanced level because I was prepared for that. I could tell you the anatomy of that. I think I really like over prepared myself so that I could be at that level to take as much out of that experience as I could.
So do you feel like with the program you took, do you feel like they talk enough about kind of owning and running your own business in that space? Because a lot of the injectors are their own business. This is a brand you're running.
So that's separate. They don't teach you that part of the game within the payment. It's mainly just how to inject. Yeah. They don't teach you the business side.
Right.
No. But why would anybody share a nugget of gold with you for free?
Yeah. But it's not free. You're paying $4 or $5,000.
Yeah, but there's another course about business marketing is like one course, and like business like finance is like another course, because we don't learn that in nursing school. We don't learn that anywhere. It's not handed out. This is how rich people stay rich.
And it's crazy because they're just teaching their experience.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question to you is, in the next couple of years, do you feel like the game is going to change to the point where the government's going to restrict these mentors from doing what they're doing? If that makes sense. Because, I'm a mentor, and come to my class, I can teach you how to inject and yada, yada, yada. I can teach you the business.
Oh, so I will say, like, ONA does count, like, you know how you have to get CE?
Yeah.
So they must have done something to get clearance from ONA where their courses count towards CE, like professional development.
Oh, so ONA's in on this too.
Damn, everyone's
making money.
I ain't making money.
They're probably getting 15% right off the rip.
Listen, aesthetics is $1 billion business. And this is a business that's only, like, Botox only came to market in 1997, I think. So this is only a 20-year business.
Oh, we ain't even that deep in.
That crazy. Is now $1 billion business. Like, This is skyrocketing as fast as Apple. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and now it's like part of the culture where everyone's like, "Oh, did you miss your Botox appointment?" Like, do you know what I mean? Like, where people just, it's not like hush hush. It's not like only luxurious celebrities and whoever get this. It's become a very regular thing where I feel like it's almost every other person that I talk to that has something and has an injector.
So can I ask you, because it's become so prevalent now for women, primarily women, to do these things, what stands you out apart from other injectors and filler and I guess just injectors?
For me, like it's like the same energy that I've kept since the beginning. I'm in it for the long run. I truly care about safety, number one, and number two, about making someone feel good. I really believe, I think a lot of people see, okay, $1 billion industry, let me get a piece of that pie. I don't necessarily see that and focus on that, because when you're good and you're passionate and you make people feel good, the money will come.
For sure.
That's easy math.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about making money right now. I'm worried about being good and making sure that people feel good about what they look like and what they are experiencing out of my service. So my biggest thing is that I want people to just enhance what they already have. I don't ever want to change how someone looks. And that's a very real conversation that we have to have with clients, because body morphism is a real problem. When you have social media just constantly on your phone, just like, oh, this is what beauty is. And you're like, well, I don't look anything like this person. Well, no, you're beautiful in your own way. And people think that this industry is about completely changing yourself, and it's not. It's just enhancing your own features or bring back of something that you used to have. You know, like structural loss, like bone density. We know that we lose bone density as we age. And so a lot of the stuff that I like to do is just bring that back in someone so that they're like, oh, I literally look like how I looked 10 years ago, but it's still me.
True. So with your business, Rajeunir, right, what are some services that you provide in the Windsor, Essex community?
So Botox, and something that I really love with Botox, it's actually called Neurotoxin. Botox is just the first brand that came out with it. Where in Canada, we now have 5 brands. And it's booming. Like the number of brands that are coming out and getting approval, it's happening fast. We should start a Botox company, guys. We should make this stuff. That's where the money is at.
We can't even do math.
Yeah, we
want to start Botox.
I know, right?
We gotta make molecules happen, okay?
In order to do that, like we would need what? Scientists, chemists?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People that know how to do math.
Pretty essentially.
There you go.
Touche.
Y'all can be the face of it, but
Pretty ass face though.
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Show you right. But sorry, continue. Yeah. Services that you provide.
So neurotoxin, neuromodulator. But I love working on like lower face with the neuromodulators, and also I don't think people know, but you can also use it to reduce sweat by like 80%. So you can put it in your armpits, and so a lot of brides or newly engaged people with a lot of events coming up in the summertime. It's been a great treatment because people are taking candid photos of you.
Female athletes.
Yeah, like any candid kind of person that's being exposed where you don't have the choice of like hiding your armpit. So that's a huge one. And also for migraines, people that suffer with migraines, it's terrible. And neurotoxin actually can completely knock out migraine symptoms. Wow. There's 33 different injection sites that can be used to relieve symptoms, and it's worked for a lot of people. I've spoke to people with lifelong issues with migraines, and they've tried all sorts of meds, even sedatives, different psychotic meds.
Have they tried Tylenol and drinking water? I'm fucking around. I'm sorry for people that actually live with migraines. That was so inconsiderate of me.
He can't do math, so don't feel bad for him. He's special.
So before we head over to the next segment, what are some services that you do want to add in the future within your business?
So right now, Botox, fillers, microneedling, PRP, I feel like this is your basic kind of bundle. We are looking at opening another medical spa with some more advanced devices. And when I say advanced devices, I'm saying they're costing the same amount as your house, like $300,000 to $800,000 devices.
Wow.
And they're coming out with new stuff like every year. Although the Canadian Health and Safety Board is probably the strictest one. So they're behind on approvals compared to America, but some, RF microneedling, some of these like laser devices are really cool, fractional, like they're doing really, really awesome work. CO2 lasering, threads is another one that's really cool. With the eyebrows, the lifting, that's been a trend, and that's threads. But there's a lot more science coming out with the threads, so I'm kind of waiting for it to be more settled in this field before jumping into there. But there's this is what I love about this field. Like every month, there's more evidence-based practice coming out. There's more devices. There's more techniques. There's so much growth in this field that I don't feel like I'll ever be bored. Like there's always going to be something new to add.
So one thing I wanted to ask you was, What do you find are the biggest challenges with starting a business in this field?
I feel like this is like a running joke amongst like small business owners, is that we can handle the challenges with the finances because that's tough. You know, learning how to do taxes, HST, like that stuff, CPP. Anyways, the challenge now is marketing and having to be your own social media marketer. And like there's courses on social media marketing. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. This is like a huge thing. There's like, it's like the same thing where it's like you pay $5,000 to become a social media marketer expert. It's money for everything. Listen, but you got to learn like the algorithms for like Instagram and Facebook, like how the ads come, like how much you have to pay in order to like appease to a certain crowd, like how to narrow your crowd. Like there's so much to it, and you've got to like post like 3 times a day, a reel every other day. You have to have 3 comments on your reel within the first 15 minutes for it to catch any exposure, like all these things that I feel like I did not sign up for. Like I knew that there was going to be some sort of marketing involved. I knew that I'd have to do financing. I probably would have to hire people at some point, and that I'd like have to learn all these accounting on top of my skill as a nurse injector.
Yeah.
I was fine with that. I feel like it's just social media marketing that I was like, I did not sign up for that. I did not realize that was like the number one thing to this business right now.
Yo, that's a tough thing. No, we're noticing the same thing with the Scrub Me In podcast as well too, with Instagram, TikTok. Like right now, TikTok, we have no traction.
No traction.
I feel like TikTok's on its way out. I've heard like Instagram Reels is like where it's at.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
We're seeing a lot of success with Instagram, but not as much with TikTok or Facebook. But then again, we're not really as active there. But you know, we're working on it.
Yeah. So you can hire like social media marketers, and they come anywhere from, you know, like a $50 a week cousin. Are
we talking within North America or
wherever? Because
I'm sure we can find someone in Indonesia or India that can do it for like $15. Holla at us.
At this point, anyone that can help me, please. I know somebody that has that, like they work for an organization that does social media marketing, and they charge $4,000 a month. Like, so there's money in this field. And someone like me who's like, I'm just the skill, I'm just the talent, I have no idea how to do all this exposure stuff. I'm like, screw it, I'll pay somebody, because this is a really great way. Like, this is like the number one way to do advertising now, because nobody's watching cable, nobody's watching newspaper. Even when people drive these days, do you think they're really looking at billboards anymore?
I think they are.
I mean,
I think they are.
I think
maybe
so.
if they were the one driving, but passengers aren't, because passengers are doing what on their phones?
It's true. I mean, I'm a driver, and sometimes I'm on my phone, so she might have a point there.
Oh gosh. Point is, people spend hours on their phone a day, and what do? They're scrolling.
It's true.
Are they talking the whole time? Probably not. They're scrolling.
So these companies that help you with social media, do they guarantee success or money back? Because $4,000 is a lot.
A lot of money, bro.
I don't know, because I have not personally really gone down that route. I'm not really willing to pay somebody $4,000. But I do know that there has been organizations that have approached me. It's like social marketing is part of their package. It's like business coaching.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like part of the package, but they do like guarantee like, you know, additional 50 clients a month or something like this. But my thing is like, okay, that should happen naturally as well. Like, if I'm not gaining 50 clients a month, like by the time in a 6-month time frame, frame. Like, what am I doing here?
You know,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it also was just like, I don't know how well your like projections really make sense. So I haven't gone down that route myself. I do know that's an opportunity and that's something that can happen. I'm more so probably going to hire somebody that is starting out in this field themselves, because I really do like supporting people that are building something for themselves.
Right.
So I've met a couple of people that are, you know, newer to the marketing game and that are interested in social media marketing that I would rather collaborate with.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at. But it is a super huge challenge. And like our lives are so busy. Like, so now we're working 2 jobs. We have 2 insane children.
Insane.
We're managing our family, our friends. Like, we are very socially active. Like, that was something that we, you know, decided we'll give up sleep in order to have an active social life and be a part of like our family and friends' lives. So I don't have time to be sitting there making videos. And dude, it's hard. Like, you have to do, like, there's like voiceover, there's music, and then there's the actual clip, and then you've got to film the clip. And like majority of the time, like, I don't even like what's filmed on the clips. And then it's just like, you got to edit it, you got to filter it, you got to put motions on it. Like, it takes me hours to make one video. So
That's interesting. So is this something, did you think that when you started all this, you would be expending so much time not injecting? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like you put a lot of time towards the social media.
Yeah, I think that's where the running joke is, like with small business owners. It's like, oh, I signed up to be, you know, a owner of a flower shop, but here I am as a social media marketer. Like, and that's like what we're all doing is you're spending like half your time is just doing social media marketing.
Yeah.
And then the other half is actually doing your craft.
Yeah, that's so much.
You know, because in order to stay relevant and on the, like, following the algorithm to stay, you know, on the sponsored pages and stuff, to stay seen, you have to be constantly posting, constantly commenting on other people's posts. So you're really on your phone like all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because I feel like I try really hard to not be on my phone. But if I want my business to succeed, I've got to be on my phone all the time.
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
So yeah, there's a lot of like tricks and stuff to it, but I don't know if I got all the time for that. Like, it's the hardest part is learning this. And I've never felt so old. Like, I used Anthony's 15-year-old niece to teach me how to start a TikTok account. Like, literally it took me half an hour just to make an account. I don't know why it was so difficult.
Oh, stick with her. She seems like she knows what she's doing.
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
15?
Damn.
Yeah. Well, she tells me that I'm just not cool. So
That is a fact.
that is
That is a fact.
That could play a factor.
she just she'll tell me that I'm not cool, but she doesn't tell me how to become cool.
So what can we expect with Rajeunir in the next couple of weeks, months, in the future?
I think, just again, like my genuine self, like I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be the same. We are definitely looking to expand and have a medical spa space. So look out for that. We've been, looking at commercial leases and buildings up for sale, just kind of keeping our eyes out for that. And just our continued growth. I've had so much support from my OG clients, and the referrals are starting to come in, and it's so nice. It's so refreshing. It's so like to feel appreciated. I think that's like another huge bonus to this business is like, you don't necessarily as a nurse get to see all the positive effects that you have with the work that you do in the hospital because you don't follow people. They don't see you again. So I love seeing people and following them through life, being like, hey, how's this like move going? How's things like going with your husband? Oh, did you get a ring yet? Or I love being a part of that chit chat, and I love being a part of people's lives, but I love being a part of people's growth.
Yeah.
So I love people to grow with me too. And I like my OG clients will be like, oh, and like, I saw that you're doing this. Like, I'm so happy for you. Like, I'm going to tell my cousin, like, and I love that. Like, that gives me energy, you know? So yeah, so just look out for continued growth and expansion and just the same old me.
So,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, where to let the camera know, the listeners, viewers, where you're located,
That's what I was going to say.
the hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Thank you. Yeah. So right now I'm working out of Joe Salon and Spa. We're located on 3703 Walker Road. If you're coming from the expressway, it's just before you hit Superstore and Costco. So it's a really central point. I love clients that come after work. And if you want to look me up on Instagram, it's at Ange, ANGE .Rajeunir, which is RAJEUNIR.
There you go.
There you
Yes.
go. There you go. I did have another. Do you have another
No,
question?
that was what I was going to say. Like, where can people find you?
Yeah. So this is outside of the business. So let's go back to nursing school, because you mentioned how you were in nursing society.
Yeah.
You were the president or vice president?
No. By fourth year, I was the chairperson.
Okay. So there is an event that, or can you let the listeners and viewers know what nursing society is a little bit, and
Okay.
I'll go into my next question.
So every degree kind of has like a club that organizes all the social events for that degree. So like we partnered with Human Kinetics a lot, and we partnered with Engineering Society a lot. But on top of that, Nursing Society, we would raise money for, various charities in our neighborhood. We would support our students and give back to the students in a sense of paying for part of the pinning ceremonies. We obviously would make social events so that people get to know each other, like during Frosh Week especially. And we're also, the executive members would have seats on faculty society or faculty board meetings, sorry, I should say, as student representatives, which I thought was like a really crucial, important part. So when they would make changes in faculty or curriculum, there was student representative, which was nursing society.
That's cool.
So yeah, so I think it was a lot of, not only social, but just like a voice for the students, and being just a member of the community was a really important thing for me. And we also had an office like in Toldo, which is the main nursing building, where they have office hours, and any nursing student can just go to an executive member who would be there for support. Like, hey, I'm feeling like really stressed out about this course. Like, is there a tutor or somebody that can support me? And your nursing society representative would help you seek those resources. And also, like, if you're struggling with your mental health, they could guide you to the free counseling services that are available to any university student on campus. And it was just a resource for everyone to utilize, and you do pay into it as part of your tuition. So there's nobody that's excluded from being able to utilize the nursing society's resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Would you have used it if you knew?
but I will say this. At the age that I'm at now, looking back at it, definitely. Back then, I definitely, no, probably not. But the reason why I bring up nursing society is I do remember, and I think it was maybe third or fourth year. Is it true? And the people want to know.
Uh-oh.
Did our year get robbed?
Robbed?
I remember there was a safe, and someone stole money out of the safe. Or am I confusing it with a different year? A scandal.
That's not anything that I remember.
Like, there was a safe, and it was within the office, and someone went in there, opened up the safe because it was the same combination, I guess, and they took money out of there. Is that?
You know what? I know why she don't remember. I remember Ange had pulled up with a whole bunch of money one time. After this happened, her memory's a little hazy.
All right, we'll scrap that under the rug. It was a while. It was like, what, 7-8 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't remember that. But like, well, this is what I'll say is the money that you're paying into, like that goes into like an actual bank account. Like money
I think this
in
is like
the
a fundraiser.
Safe, yeah, is like a fundraiser. Like bake sales are like $300.
Yeah,
like,
I think it was a fundraiser or something like that. And
I don't like the fundraisers don't make a ton of money in one go, and then there is like an executive like finance person who's responsible for dropping that money off to the actual bank account.
I see.
I don't know, so often I can't remember what it was, but like there's not a lot of money in a safe.
Okay, I'm gonna have to connect with my sources and figure this out.
That.
Yeah, on another episode, we'll touch back up on this topic. But my very last question before we wrap it up is, if you could talk to your 18 or 17-year-old self back when you first entered nursing school, what would you tell her?
Oh,
don't cry.
Cute.
Don't cry.
I'm not gonna cry. I don't know. I don't think I would have done anything differently. I think I would just say like, believe in yourself. And
put your phone in your locker.
True. Like, why did I use my phone and check the time when I had a watch right there? Like, literally. Anyway, but I think that, like, I was just so uncertain of everything. And, like, when you're 18, I just never felt like I belonged anywhere. Like, I felt like I was always looking for my place and for something that, like, I was meant to do. So I feel like if there was anything to tell myself, my young self, is that you are right where you're meant to be. And you're always right where you're meant to be.
For sure.
So just believe in it and do your best in wherever you are right now. Take every opportunity. Take every chance to inject. Take every point that you can take out of every single thing in life. Because it happens all so fast. It comes and it goes. And once it's gone, it's never coming back. So believe in yourself and do it. Do all the things. Say yes.
That's amazing. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful, bro.
Are you going to cry?
No, I thought about it for a second. He's the cry.
Wow. Yeah, that was great. But no, Angela, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for this episode. We really appreciate you coming on to the show.
Absolutely.
Make sure y'all
Season
2, episode 1. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
To tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes. And that's about it. We'll wrap it up. You know what I mean? With the shades on.
I don't have the right glasses for this.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
You got something on. So yeah, tap in. You know, that's episode 1, season 2.
Let's go.
See you next time. Peace.